Well, we're back, and we're into our third week of the coronavirus quarantine and a little bit of update. We'll walk around out here for a minute, then we'll go do something. But now the state of Tennessee is under full lockdown, and we are now ordered to shelter in place and to definitely enforce those social distancing guidelines. That is no longer rhetoric. That is actually a fact now. I will now be doing all of my music lessons on video, so any of my students that were coming to me in person will now have to do it either over FaceTime or over Facebook Messenger. I'm not going to use Zoom. It's not a real practical option for me. A lot of people are doing that, and I'm not going to do that right now. I don't need to. I'm not doing multiple students doing lessons, so we're not going to do that. I'm just taking a little stroll outside in the sunshine today because, well, we sure as heck need it. I'll show you around the back part of my house while we're doing that. I've got to get the yard guy in here again, I think. Let me see. Actually, this is all looking pretty good. We're going to take this lattice work down sooner or later this spring, because this stuff is kind of broken down. It's got stuff growing all over it. And, oh, yeah, this is really bad. This is a mess right here. That needs to come down. But and then we got a downspout down from a recent storm. Need to take care of that. In fact, I'm going to move that. It's sitting up against my central heat and air unit. Let me get that off of there. I've got my guy coming next week. He's got it. This is as good as. Let me see. Now, let's get up. It's kind of hanging here. Let me set it up right. Well, let me lay it flat. Yeah, let me. Here, guys. What a mess. We're going to lay it flat right here so it's not just out in the way. But we've had some crazy stuff. We've had storms, and we've got the coronavirus, and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So I got to do some stuff to the outside of my house. Let's see what else is going on out here in the backyard. Nothing much. I'm just trying to get out of the house for a little bit. I was supposed to teach a student this afternoon, but they are unavailable. So I think what I will do is tomorrow is Palm Sunday, the week before Easter. Let's see. And it is the 4th of April. I think it's the 4th or the 5th, I can't remember. Anyway, it's Saturday. Let me think. I think it's the 4th. And it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they were telling us that we can get our blessed palms at the church. So we'll take a little walk down there and do that. And if nobody's in there, we'll go in there. No, maybe we won't. I'll just... You know what? I think, yeah, we'll walk down there. We can at least do that and see what the situation is. If that's not cool, we'll go on back home. But hopefully the place will be pretty well deserted, as everything is right now. It's definitely a pretty day for a walk. We would normally be getting ready for Easter Mass next week. And there's always a special celebration on Palm Sunday, but they're not doing that. We're all under pretty strict orders right now. Here comes a vehicle I'm going to get over. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to skip that as I think about it. There's people coming up to the church to get their palms, and I don't think I'm going to get in the middle of that. I think it would be the better part of valor for me to just be safe and going back home. So we're just gonna walk to the end of the street and come back another time. It would be nice to be able to get my Palm for Palm Sunday, but there are people over here, and I think it would just be safer for me and my family if I just went on home. We'll just have to chalk it off to a loss, kind of like what the bishop said in his letter. It's going to be a lost Lent and a lost Easter season due to this COVID-19 thing, and I think my family would appreciate it much more if I just went on home. So as you can see, I have made no physical contact with anybody on this deserted back street, so we'll just head home, and I'll just walk around on my property and talk to y'all a little bit more about what I'm gonna do this afternoon and evening as we move into our next week of COVID-19 coverage period. I really don't want to make my personal vlog about all things COVID-19. If you want to know all of the stuff that is pertaining to the virus, all you've got to do is get on Facebook or get on your favorite news app or get on the web, turn on your television set. It's all there for you to see. This is supposed to be a vlog about my personal life, and well, that's what's going on right now. And so, yeah, we're gonna make some chronicles of that. Paula and I are still healthy. No one in my house is showing any symptoms of COVID-19 right now. Mom is doing good over here at her place. Mom and I are observing social distancing as well. Mom has made masks for us, and since I don't have a mask and gloves on, I'm just not going to put my family at any unnecessary risk at this time. So that's what that's about. What I'm going to do this afternoon, I was going to teach some music lessons. I think I'm going to go in here and practice my drums for a little bit. Don't think anybody's going to care anything about that. And then I'm going to clean the studio a little bit, sweep and mop in there a little bit, and get things ready for the summer months, which means setting my air conditioning unit from heat to air conditioning, because I think we're done with the cooler nights and stuff like that. Maybe do a little bit of additional disinfecting around the house and put in an order using the what the heck is it? Forgot what the name of it. Not Shipt, it's the other one. Anyway, there's a lot of apps now for home delivery of things, and that's kind of how we're doing things now with all of this stuff going on. Having medications delivered and groceries and fast food and just pretty much everything, and trying to avoid going into town as much as possible. And that, I can't stress enough, is very important. If you don't need to go somewhere, just like my decision just now, I saw too many people headed down towards the church in their vehicles. I said, no way, never mind. We're just not going to do that. So stay home if you can, and I mean really, stay home if you can. Essential workers, I understand what your situation is, and we sure do appreciate what you guys do and the fact that we're going to have any options at all for acquiring supplies. But if you don't have to go out, please don't. It really isn't necessary to do. Anyway, we'll come back in a little bit and we'll talk some more. And hello, we're back. It's noisy. I'm up on a ladder because the remote on the system that I use for temperature control in the studio is not currently working very well, so I'm just double checking all the settings for summer. The thermostat is sitting on 68 degrees. That may be a little cool. I'll have to adjust that, but I've got it on cool and on energy saver so that it's not constantly running all the time. So we're in good shape there. I guess I'm gonna have to get a watch battery. What is this? This is, what does that say? I can't even tell what that says. But anyway, so we've got the air conditioning running in here. That'll keep things cooler for the summer. We're ready to rock and roll. I am up on a ladder, so Yeah, you can see, oh, wow, okay, a little bit of vertigo, don't like that. I'm not up on ladders very much. But here is a view of the studio from high above. I've got everything all out in the way. There's the drum set. Anyway, there's a view of the studio from high above. Oh boy, I do not like being up on ladders. I haven't done that in a while. I need to check out that loft and clean it out. But there you go. We're getting situated for summer here in the studio. Hello, and we're back. It is May the 2nd, 2020, and we are just now seeing the lifting of the stay-at-home order in Middle Tennessee for the COVID-19 coronavirus quarantine period for the outbreak. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to go on and on about it. I disagree with what they're doing. I think that we need to be under a shelter-in-place situation for a lot longer. But I am not Governor Bill Lee. I disagree with his decision, but I kind of understand where he's at too, because we've got an issue with commerce too. Interstate commerce can be a bit of a problem, and well, maybe he is between a rock and a hard place in any event. We're going to talk a little bit about how things have really changed in the last 2 months. The last time I made a video, we had this whole thing had just gotten going, and we hadn't seen the stay-at-home order yet. I don't think. It's been a while. When you go back through, you'll see exactly what was going on. There's a lot more traffic on the roads today. It's the first weekend of the lifting of the lockdown order, and that's kind of what's going on. Life in the meantime has changed considerably here. I am now pretty much full on doing all video music lessons at this point. I am not taking any face-to-face customers, and I will continue to do video. I'm not going to take any face-to-face customers until such time as I see the numbers come down, and I cannot afford to take any chances in bringing anything home. I'm very fortunate in that I can continue to work from home. And that's where we stand with that. But here's how life has changed besides that. We have tried several things throughout this COVID-19 lockdown, several options, including Instacart and DoorDash, and a lot of other options to have things brought in. Those things work very well, I must say. I congratulate those for the people who've come up with that stuff. It works pretty well. However, it's expensive. It costs a lot more to have DoorDash or Instacart, or there's a place around here. See, our area code's 931. So 931 Delivers is a good service. I've used all of those services. I'm very happy with the level of service, and the fees are all similar. You can get pretty much anything you want brought to your house at this point, and that works really great for legally blind people. I have chosen, because I have that option, to have my orders submitted to Kroger and do the Kroger pickup. So we're having our groceries brought out to our vehicle, and that's the way that works. Here is the challenge that I see with that. When you're blind or visually impaired, you can't, and you're in a situation like mine where you really don't feel safe going inside a place. There are certain things you miss out on that other consumers are able to get. Toilet paper being one of them, although I have managed to keep a supply of that. Because we made a decision early on when this was all just getting started to start stocking up on some things. We're trying not to just panic buy, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure we had enough of what we needed. They're talking about food shortages in the upcoming weeks, and we're making sure to stock up on all that stuff. So, but there are things that the grocery stores don't have that you can sometimes get if you can go in early in the morning, and we just don't have that option. So blind and visually impaired people are dealing with that. Blind and visually impaired people are also dealing with social distancing. This whole thing of staying 6 feet apart from one another is a difficult proposition for those of us who don't see well. So we're having to figure out how we can safely go in and out of places while we can't see very well around us. We can't see the markers on the floor and things like that. So we're having to deal with those challenges. Those are challenges that me and my blind and visually impaired friends are all talking about. Well, let's talk about a few other things today. I'm getting ready to put my groceries away. I'm just out here in the garage. I just brought my order in from the truck. We went down to Kroger and picked up our stuff, and I'm going to be putting all of that stuff away here shortly. I got most everything I wanted. I got absolutely everything I needed, but there were a few items I would have liked to have had that they just didn't have in stock, and we'll figure out how to get those later. No big deal. Let me see. Other than that, Lent has come and gone. You know, I go to St. Paul's Catholic Church, and Lent has come and gone, and Easter is come and gone, and like I said, it is now the 2nd of May. So that's what's going on here. I'm just gonna be putting my groceries away, and I'm going to be thinking about making some dinner, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Let me get my hand out of the camera. I'm holding her in her bag. I'm making sure she stays in there. I'd like for y'all to see this wonderful facility that Dr. Kim's got, because she does a really good job, and we love what they do. So it's her annual shots. It is now June, what is today, the 15th, I think? Yeah, today's the 15th of June. It's a little warm out here. It's full-blown summer now, guys. But Candy is very healthy. We're going to get a good weight and everything. We're going to find out what it's all about. So we'll walk on in here, and we'll take it from there. Okay, it is June 17th, 2020. And here's what's going on. I thought I would just sit and talk in the studio today before I continue on with the blog and, you know, walk around and stuff. Anyway, today's my day off, so I'm actually putting some drum heads on my drums, and I'm really excited about that. I'm going to get started on that in a few minutes, but I thought I would add to the blog itself and just talk a little bit about what's been going on, where we were dealing with the early stages of the coronavirus, the COVID-19. A lot has changed in the United States for sure, and I know that it's changed all over the world. We went through a couple of months of actual shutdown where we weren't allowed to really, a lot of businesses were closed. Essential personnel were the only people working. I have since closed my doors to the public. I am no longer teaching face-to-face music lessons at this time. I don't know when I'm going to open up, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I have gone to a format of video chat. I'm using Facebook Messenger video and FaceTime for my actual teaching, and that's working out pretty good. I can accept payment by way of PayPal and as well as regular US mail, so I can get my payments that way. So fortunately, and being a Christian, I can say God is good. God has provided me with a way to continue working through all of this mess. So we've been home, we've been in a shutdown mode. I have gone to the store only a handful of times as it becomes necessary to do. Feeling a little bit more comfortable now that they've got some really good social distancing things in place to go certain places, and I don't go anywhere without a mask anymore. Sometime around April, I think it was. The dates kind of confuse me, but sometime around April is when the government actually provided a $1,200 stimulus package for all Americans who qualify. So that's the COVID-19 thing. There's been a lot of changes in just the way that we do everything in terms of daily life. Like my mom was talking about the other day, the fact that people aren't able to go to stores and try on clothes anymore. Dressing rooms in certain kinds of stores and things are closed off, and you have to purchase your stuff and take it home. You know, there's contact tracing on returned items at the store. There's just all kinds of things that are different than they ever used to be before, and I really don't think I don't think we're going to ever go back to things the way that they used to be. I think our future is definitely very different, but that, of course, is my personal opinion, and I have not been to Mass at my church since early spring, since late winter or early spring, and I really do miss that part very much. I miss my worship, and I miss my friends at church and all of that stuff. But fortunately, I have a strong faith, and I believe that God and Jesus are with me at home as they would be with me in church, and they understand that I'm trying to keep my family safe. So that's kind of what's going on with the COVID-19 as of June 17th, 2020. Tennessee opened up its economy about a month ago. I personally am not particularly happy about that. I think that if we had stayed locked down for a little bit longer, we could have seen an actual, what they were calling a flattening of the curve, but I don't see that curve flattening. As a matter of fact, I still see growth in cases of COVID-19 every single day. Yeah, well, anyway, there's talk about the number of tests that are being issued and the number of cases versus tests, but the fact remains that there are still new cases emerging every single day. But then again, that gets into my personal opinion, and I am absolutely not going to talk about politics. Okay, that's about it for all of that. Well, what else am I doing today? Today, I have received some new drum heads for my drum set. I'm actually in the studio. I'm going to unbox those in a few minutes. I'm going to go over to my music channel and do an unboxing and a setup of my new Aquarius drum heads. I'm really excited about that. And then I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my day off. So this may be the last installment for this particular vlog entry before I go on and start taking up the other half of 2020. All right, guys, if you like the channel, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.